Hi, this is Richard Elliot with WSB-TV in Atlanta. I actually interviewed you once before when you came here to tour the Atlanta field office a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's great. I was just having in my head, I'm having fond memories of Atlanta. So it's great to hear your voice.
Thank you. My first question, I don't want to try and repeat too much of what you've already said to all the other stations. I want to ask you why you wrote the book, but I guess I really want to ask you is what do you hope the ultimate ending from your book may be to the country?
I wrote the book because it occurred to me and to my wife that's a way I could be useful, a way in which I could try and have something good come from the badness, which was my firing. Especially now in this country, I thought maybe with my experiences, by telling a series of stories from my own life, going all the way back to when I was a kid, I can illustrate through mistakes of mine and things that I've learned what ethical leadership looks like and what we should expect from our bosses and what we should be like as a boss. I would very much hope that the book succeeds in driving a conversation about what do we expect leaders to be like and what do we expect them to focus on. We spend so much time in this country fighting about policy issues, and that says it should be. We should fight about guns and taxes and immigration, but there's something above that that's far more important, and that's our shared set of values. And if we lose those, it doesn't matter what our policy positions are. So my best outcome would be to encourage Republicans and Democrats and independents to rise above those policy passions and realize what matters and insist upon our leaders embodying those values.
I wanted to ask, given everything with also the email investigation, do you feel any responsibility, should you feel any responsibility for maybe some of the current political climate in the U.S. or any of the fallout that has happened since then?
I don't think so, and I've asked myself that question a bunch of times. I think we were stuck in the middle of a situation that we would much rather not be any part of. I'd rather Hillary Clinton had never had a private email server. I'd rather Anthony Weiner had never had a laptop. But in the middle of that terrible situation, we made the best judgments that we could. We weren't on anybody's team. We managed to anger everybody. But I think we did it the way the American people would want us to do it. And so how could we feel responsibility if we did it in a principled way, in a thoughtful way?
I wanted to ask you, your replacement, Christopher Wray, who worked here and lived here in Atlanta for a while, apparently he's come under fire over the past couple of days. Devin Nunes saying that he wants to find Director Wray in contempt of Congress and try to begin impeachment proceedings against him if the FBI doesn't produce at least a two-page document explaining the reasons behind the Russia probe. Any advice for him or reaction to that?
Well, it doesn't surprise me because Chris Wray is a person of principle and character, and in Washington today, that's often a lonely person to be. But I would rather still be FBI director, but if I can't be, he is a great person to be FBI director. He will do the right thing, and my advice to him would be just be you. Just stay the course, do the right thing. In the long sweep of things, the people calling you names and all this nonsense, they will be swept away. And people who act in a principled way will be proud of what they've done.
And I think that leads into the next question is your reaction. The White House hit back pretty hard yesterday over the past couple of days. Your reaction to their criticisms?
Kind of a shrug. I mean, I expected it. I don't think anybody's read the book over there. I would think even if they would read the book, they'd be surprised. It's not really about Donald Trump. It's about leadership. It includes stories about George Bush and Barack Obama and Martha Stewart and lots of other things. And it's a book that I think will be useful to people. It's not about trying to convince people that they agree with the way I've conducted myself throughout my career. It's about trying to show them this is a vision about how you make hard decisions and lead in a way that is above the normal tribal fighting that we engage in.
And I don't know that I have time for one more question. They're telling me to wrap. I'll try it really, really quick. As your position as director of FBI, was there any information that you have not been able to divulge or discuss that led you to reach some of these conclusions?
I can't say. There's a variety of information from a whole bunch of different matters I dealt with that are not in the book because I have to have the book reviewed by the FBI. Can't include sensitive investigative material, can't include classified information. So that's a big non-answer.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you again.